team on the field, and we are ready to get this thing started. From a couple of yards deep, he'll bring it out. He stopped short of the 20 at the 19 and probably wishes he'd just taken the touchback. Let's take a quick second to call out some of the impact players their coaches mentioned in meetings this week. Anything you guys heard that really resonated with you?
Yeah, I love when coaches talk about guys that bring it every single day. Like, that we can depend on them. They can get other guys lined up. They're always motivated. They're always being a great teammate. These are the guys that coaches love.
And big-time players make big plays in big games, right? These are the guys that have to play well if they're going to win games like this. Be interesting to see what they do today.
This crowd bringing the energy and noise early. From the gun, the running back tries to hit the hole. And he is just engulfed at the line by this giant defensive tackle.
Defense is about firing off, hitting the offensive guys, and staying in your gaps. Everybody knowing where they're supposed to be. You could tell the defense, everyone was right where they're supposed to be, nowhere to run.
Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on third down. Unloads to the wideout. Wide open downfield. It's a game of first downs, and they've got one out to their own 37. Third down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who's the most open, who do you trust the most?
Yeah, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide and I know I trust you, I'm finding you.
Off the play fake on first down to throw. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball.
Looked like the offense had a chance for a big play there, but the running back just could not reel that ball in.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. To the air, it's Graham. He's going to let one fly down the middle. And it's incomplete after taking a shot on second down. They're staring at third.
And that's a really good play. That's a ball. That's thrown way down the field. A lot of time for me to do what? Get a little bit handsy, get my hands, force a PI. Stayed calm, did a nice job staying the course, got his hand on the football for the deflection.
On third and long, he has to throw for it. Fires to the wideout. He's got an open man. Nice pick up there. Gets him the first down and sets him up at the 45-yard line. We asked earlier this week, who's your favorite receiver? And, of course, he said the open one. But we know who he really wants to go to on third down.
The best one. I mean, I think the open one, obviously the politically correct answer, but you want to find the guy that you got that great chemistry with. You know exactly where he's going to be. You got that bond and that trust.
Working the middle. Knocked down at the 29-yard line. Picked up 15 yards on the play, and he's got a first down.
When you run those routes, those curl routes just like that, those DBs are going to break when you go to throw the football. So you better put that thing on a line, and the QB did there. Put it on a line. Great job, great catch. First down.
Handoff from the gun. A 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 3.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in second and short, not a good job by this defense.
Direct snap. Oh, better look out. Drag down, but they'll move the sticks for a first down.
Yeah, and it's so nice. Don't overthink it, right? Just hand it off, get the first down, new set of downs, let's go.
This crowd, full throat, splitting the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. Use the play fake, now to throw. Finds his big tight end. Takes it all the way down to the 4 after making the grab, and they're set up.
It's really tough on offenses when defenses know what you got to do. You got to pass the football. They're in man coverage. How about the receiver understanding where the first down is? He smells it. He goes and gets it.
New set of downs right on the doorstep for this offense. Looking to pass. It's Graham. Big guy smells it. Snatched it right out of the air and waltzed his way into the end zone for the touchdown. You want to talk about a great way to start the game and set the tone early.
It's so nice to have a quarterback just get himself into the game and get himself established. You make a couple throws, you lead your offense down the field, you score right off the bat. Could not have been a better start for that QB.
They get set for the point afters. We have the first score of the game. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. So a drive there of 82 yards, and they cap the drive with a 4-yard touchdown pass. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. On the move from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. It's not often we focus on a matchup quite like this, but, David, we have a couple of premier tight ends in this game.
And we've seen it recently, right? Ty Warren last year, Brock Bowers the year before. Like, you can build an offense around an elite tight end, and both of these schools do it. The speed, the playmaking ability, the versatility. Palmer, I bet you wish you had a guy like this you could throw to.
You're right, David. I played with a lot of NFL guys at tight end, but none of them were as dynamic as these two right here. And you're going to see them get the ball in a variety of ways. We're seeing offense change in college football, and one of the biggest reasons is the versatility now at the tight end position, and these are two of the best in the entire country.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. He'll pull it on the read. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in practice, they really focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
Finds his man down the middle. And it's a first down. They'll mark it at the 44.
Well, we know this guy is special, and because of that, his quarterback is looking to him on critical down and distances. There on that third down, there was no question. It wouldn't have mattered if he was single covered, double covered, man, zone. That's where he was going with it, and the big-time playmaker outside picks up the first.
There he goes. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. How about the zip this junior put on that ball to pick up the first down?
When you play zone coverage, you got a wide receiver that's a beast. It becomes very, very difficult. Got to make sure I play physical and maybe even shade the side of the wide receiver having a lot of success.
Looking for room. It's Lang.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Back to throw. It's McCall. Quickly complete. He'll step out of bounds. He's at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, and he runs a quick out route, and this is a timing route. Quarterback has to trust him, throw him the football. You can tell they've thrown this a time or two. Nice job, nice success.
They're looking at a 3rd down and short from the 33. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. They are on the move as they pick up the first down. They'll spot it at the 28.
Hard to imagine this is only their first drive of the game, but their defense was on the field for virtually an entire quarter. So, guys, there's a lot of pressure on this offense here to convert this 3rd down so their defense can stay on the sideline and get their win back.
They'll give it to him again. And with that stop, we are headed toward the end of the first quarter. Now to see if these guys can get back in the game in the second quarter. They've put this ball on lockdown. 8th play of the drive coming up. Wants to go up top. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit.
And the big tight end, a lot of times that's a bigger strike zone, a bigger dude, and you could tell they put the hit on him, and that ball came out, and it came to the turf. Nice job playing physical by this defense.
Defense getting stingier in their own end of the field. It's 3rd and long from the 28. From the gun, wants to pass. Unleashes one deep. It's complete. Huge gain before he goes out of bounds, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
I really like this offense staying aggressive. They were in field goal range, but nice job on 3rd down. Forget that. Let's go get the 1st down. Let's throw the football. Nice read, nice catch. Now set up with a 1st and goal situation.
On 1st and goal, they have a chance to answer with a score of their own. They'll try to get it in with the run. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
There is nowhere to run and nowhere to hide on these situations. You know the physical ground game comes into play inside the 5-yard line, and they match the intensity. Nice job. Everybody flying around to the football, making the tackle for a loss. Nice job by this defense.
Got it back on 2nd and goal. And he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Now you know why you do all of those squats, all of those deadlifts, extra time in the weight room.
No doubt. Get that lower body strength so you can just shed people off of you. What a great job smelling the end zone and getting in.
Looking for the tie with the extra point. And they did tack on the extra point. They put it in the end zone with a 12-play scoring drive and finished the deal with the short touchdown run from the 2. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. And he takes this from inside the 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. So we'll see the offense on the field to start this drive. The give to the back. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage.
Stopping the run is about physicality. It's about I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you up front. Really nice job by the defense, showing their strength, bowing up, stuffing the run.
Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Back to throw, it's Graham. Tight end finds a soft spot. They get him stopped at the 26, but that'll be enough for this offense to go to work on 1st down.
You know, tight ends are such matchup nightmares and problems for defense. They're too big for DBs to cover, and they're too fast for linebackers to cover. You saw it right there.
They'll snap it from the 26 on 1st down. To the air on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. And that corner came in hot despite knowing that he was giving up some size.
And you got to love the versatility of the big fella. You put him in the box and let him block big defensive linemen, or you put him in the slot and you throw him the football and have success.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Looking to fire. A little screen to the running back. Still on his feet at the 40. Taken out of bounds after a good pickup there. They're in striking distance at the 37.
Well, after that last play, you can see how electrifying this guy is and how special he is after he makes the catch. If I'm on offense, I'm trying to find a lot of ways to get him touches in this game.
Get a big play like that last one, you flip the field, you change the momentum. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 38. Power football with the run. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
We're trying to run the ball on 1st down, guys, but just nothing doing up front. Their offensive line got blown up on that play. There was nowhere for that guy to go.
Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. Back to pass. Sets up the screen. And that one looked great on the grease board, but when they blow it up like that, the defense is going to win every time.
And those screen passes, I want those defensive linemen to run right up the field, and I want to throw it right over their head where I got some space and I can get my running back going. That is the opposite of what happened right there. There was no space. He couldn't even get going.
On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. Catch in the middle, it's Peoples. They finally get to him, but what a play there to pick up the first down.
There's a reason 3rd down is called the money down. What a great find by the quarterback. Great job finding his receiver. At the end of the game, you look at 3rd down percentages. It tells a huge story, and it goes a long way in deciding who wins a football game.
They're going to run it. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
And I can't tell you how much I love seeing corners being willing to come up and tackle. That is so huge for a defense. You can't olay blocks and create space. You can't just hang out on the outside. You got to go set that edge.
And conversely, I can't tell you how much I hate it when receivers don't want to block. You got to do a better job on the perimeter. It's not going to be enough in this offense just to catch passes. You got to go execute your assignment. That corner should have been blocked, and they should have gotten a bigger gain on that outside run. One of the things you love about this running back is not only can he run between the tackles, but he's also a weapon in this offense catching the football.
This crowd rising up, sensing that its defense needs some help. Back to pass, it's Graham. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
And that's a play on 3rd down. This offense just has to do a better job protecting their quarterback. Give him a split second more time to complete that throw, but they couldn't do it there.
And on 4th down, they'll try to salvage the drive with a field goal. This crowd trying to do its part to get inside the kicker's head. Kick is good. The offense has 3 points to show for the drive. And with that field goal, they now have the lead.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
They'll kick it away after putting up a field goal on that last drive. On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. He leaves it with his back. That may not look like a huge run, but they'll take it as it gets him up to the 24. Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on 1st down. It's 2nd and 3. Gives it to the back on the draw. Turning it on. That one can really put this drive into high gear as they have a 1st down at the 37.
And for a draw play to be successful, it's not just the quarterback that has to sell pass, but also the offensive line. The tackles really letting their defensive ends rush upfield, guards and centers passing their guys off at the last second, and then running down the field trying to get hats on hats in the 2nd level. Beautiful execution.
And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
Dropping back, it's McCall. Using the quick game. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few.
Wow, the quarterback knew he had to get that one to his receiver quickly on the in route. Did you see the velocity on that throw?
3rd and long from the 42. If they can get some of it, it might give them a chance to go for it on 4th down. Caught in the backfield. It's Lang. They'll make the stop about a yard short of the 1st down. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. They bring the punter onto the field now. The punter going to get his first work of the afternoon. And they'll let that one go, and it'll roll out of bounds. Quarterback by himself in the backfield. They'll start this drive with a pass. That's caught. It's Peoples. They stop him just a link or two short of the first, and man, what they can do on second down here.
I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows, he can run slants, he can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really has all the routes in his toolbox.
He'll keep it himself. They make the stop, and that is the end of the first half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Boys, you never quite know what to expect there in San Antonio, and we've had a lively first half. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W. And with that, let's send it back to the guys inside the Alamo Dome.
We're just about ready to start the second half. He'll start the return inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Out comes the offense as they get set to take over. Motion from the wideout. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. On the shovel. Creates a little room. Now they've got even more breathing room out to the 31 and a fresh set of downs.
And a great job by the QB finding the running back, getting the football where he can do some damage after the catch, and most importantly, get the first down.
It's 1st and 10 from the 31. They'll leave it with him. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
Another tough run for this offense, and I think a big reason why they're down on the scoreboard right now is they just haven't been able to get this guy going. They've tried to give him the ball a lot. It just hasn't paid off, but you get the feeling, too, if they are going to crawl back in this one, they need him to break one off, and it just takes one play for this guy. Don't be impatient. You've got to keep giving him the football.
Once again, finding nowhere to run against this defense. He's knocked down immediately. Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's 3rd and long. Scanning the field, it's McCall. Using his feet to buy time. Crosses the 40. Just gashing this defense. A big gainer to the 40-yard line.
You've got to have pass rushing lane integrity when you face this quarterback. On 3rd down, someone gets out of his gap right up the middle. It's easy for the quarterback to see. He just tucks it and takes off and picks up the first down.
After run, now throw. Quickly complete. Stopped after a good pickup, and he'll be just a tad short of the first down.
And that's a really nice route by the wide receiver, just understanding I got to win right now. I got to get inside of that guy, and I know I'm going to get contact. You run over the middle of the field on a slant, you're going to get hit. Nice job securing the catch, making the play.
Running back searching for a hole. All down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down.
Definitely been tough sledding for this guy, especially in the first half. They gave him the ball a bunch, but they just don't have a ton of yards on the ground to show for it at this point. That looked like a pretty good run, though. You just wonder maybe in the second half, if they keep giving him the football, it may start paying some dividends.
Coming out on first down with the play fake. And it's incomplete, deflected, knocked away by the D.
Another incompletion, and I've said that a lot, and these teams are just struggling. I mean, the offense just doesn't know what to do. Nothing's working, ground game, throw game. It's kind of been a rock fight on both sides.
They're dealing with a 2nd and long. Sends it back in motion. Off the play fake. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming.
All right, you got to be careful here if you're the quarterback, right? Back-to-back incompletions. You've had a nice drive. You're still in field goal range, though. Think about this. You cannot take a sack. That has got to be what the play caller is reminding his quarterback about in the headsets right now. If it's not there, throw this thing away because we've got a chance.
Throws toward the end zone. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch.
Once you start to get down here towards the goal line, it's so much more difficult to throw the football, and you really want to stretch the defense sideline to sideline and use your speed and take advantage of the grass when you see it. They try to take a little bit of a shot down the field unsuccessfully. Nice job by this defense.
It's good. He could have hit a string right in the middle of the uprights there. And it's a deadlock here in the 3rd quarter after the field goal.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
And we're all square as he's set to kick it away. Fielded in the end zone, it's Jordan. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. And now the offense will come onto the field again. Dropping back, it's Graham. Got a man, it's Peoples. No chance to run, but still a solid pickup on that one.
I think really good wide receivers do a good job of making every route kind of look the same. You could tell this looked like a vertical route. So if I'm a DB, I'm bailing, and all of a sudden he sits that hitch down. Nice job by the wide receiver, creating enough separation to create a positive gain.
The play action fake. Throws to the back. Snagged in the middle. It's Jordan. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a 1st down.
I like the running back there on the route and the patience he showed, really setting it up. He got to the defender, he was able to put his foot in the ground, get some separation, catch it, and turn upfield for the 1st.
The offense lines up at the 41 with a 1st and 10. Fires to the tight end. They finally get him on the ground, but he's got an explosive play for the 1st down.
Well, I know the tight end did some good things after the catch, but got to give the quarterback credit, too, for the location of the throw. Because he put it out in front of his big man, he was able to make the catch and accelerate, creating some distance there between him and the defense.
They just keep firing. Strong pass rush gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
It's been a little bit of a seesaw here the last 2 plays. Offense gets a chunk play, and then the defense gets a sack. Great job by the defense there, turning the page, coming up with the big one.
That last sack got them behind the sticks. It's 2nd and long here. Quarterback will keep it. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Here comes this home crowd as the defense tries to get off the field on 3rd down. To the air, it's Graham. He lofts one down the sideline. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down.
That's why it's so important for this defense to win 1st and 2nd down. You set up 3rd and longs like that. You can show your exotic looks. You can get the pass rush going. Everybody on the back end expecting throw. That's how you force incompletions and force 4th downs.
is on its way. And that one will bounce and roll out of bounds. Let's see exactly where they mark it. So they start this drive from inside their own 20 at the 19-yard line. Off-play action on first down. Finds his man in the middle.
It's a nice job running the in route there by the receiver. And the best thing he did after he made his break, he didn't trail and fade away. He actually attacked the football. That's a good lesson for young receivers out there watching.
Second down coming up. Wants to go up top. Has to let this one go off his back foot. He got his hands on it, but couldn't hold on to it. And what a time that would have been for their first pick of the game.
And that was good defense again. And unfortunately, we've been saying that all game long. Really, really good defense. Or, listen, you can spin on the other side. This offense has really been bad.
Now looking for that first down on 3rd and short from the 26. They'll try to get it through the air. Gets it out quickly. He moves the chains, and they'll mark the ball at the 33.
Wow, and what a great job by that quarterback finding his open receiver on 3rd down. You know, guys, one of the most telling stats at the end of the game is 3rd down conversion percentage. If you're a great 3rd down team, it's invaluable to your offensive success, and that's why teams drill 3rd down so much in practice.
Back in motion, try to clear the picture. A strike downfield. And he's brought down after a nice gain. What a ride. It's been through the first 3 quarters of this game. We are all tied up. Let's check out some stats. These two teams about to find out what they're made of as we open the 4th all tied up. They go back to work in the final period of this one. Wants to throw. It's McCall. Finds his tight end. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36, and it'll be first down.
And that's why QBs love their tight ends so much, right? Especially when they're athletic, because they make short throws turn into long gains. Because of his ability after the catch, it's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
They've got it at the 36. It's a 1st and 10. He'll do it himself. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
Yeah, and it's a nice job by this defense. Understand, listen, that QB is a threat. And they're going to run all kinds of options, and he's going to run the football. They were dialed in and got that sucker to the ground.
Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Here's a heat. Can't find a man, and he'll be knocked down at the 40.
And, man, that's frustrating for an offense. You got a little something going. You had a little bit of momentum, but they've got to do a better job of protecting their guy, keeping him upright, letting him go make some plays for this offense. That's the only way he's going to get hot. They got to give him more time.
It would be nice to pick up a few yards on 3rd down because from here, it's a 57-yard attempt. Now the play fake. Gonna take a shot. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. So here we are on 4th down, and this field goal kicker is going to face all the pressure in the world. Oh, and he missed it. No good. After the miss, here in the 4th quarter, still deadlocked.
And sometimes I just feel like 4th down, man, just go for it every time. Like the field goal miss, make rate. And listen, kickers have improved the last couple of years, but you left some points off the scoreboard there.
Dropping back, it's Graham. Throws to the wideout. On target over the middle. He puts him in business across the 50 into the 46-yard line. It'll be first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Looking deep. And they dialed up a shot play, but they couldn't hook up.
He just misses on the big downfield shot. And I think some people think that's a difficult throw to make, but I'll tell you what, a lot of times you put a little air underneath it and you just trust your guy more than you trust the DB, but it's hard to do when you overshoot your wide receiver.
They'll run play action. He lost it high and deep down the left side. And it falls incomplete, and the offense is lucky to have it. Defender right there almost had it in his grasp.
Great coverage, and it's so hard when the ball's thrown down the field to stay patient. Like, not to grab the guy, not to start to overreact to the football. Nice job staying a little bit patient when the ball got there, deflecting it, knocking it down.
Gonna look downfield again. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. And he's got it in the end zone.
One of the areas they really focused on with this receiver in the offseason was, we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. When we're taking shots, we need you to be able to step up and make tough catches. David, what a grab right there.
And I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your guy, knowing where he's going to be, knowing when he's going to sit down, when he's not, so being on the same page, and then having a guy that can go get it. Just when the ball is near him, he's going to make the play, just like he did right there for 6 points.
He'll try to tack on one more. The extra point is good, and now in the fourth, they're up by a touchdown and an extra point. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And they finish with a big play, a touchdown strike from the 46. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. So, guys, we'll see this offense again. Looking downfield, it's McCall. Makes the catch. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. The give to the back. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
Yeah, and this offense has to find a way to run the football. They got to get more creative, or whatever that looks like for this offense, something to jumpstart them, because nothing really going on the ground.
Yeah, defensively, though, you got to give them credit, too, because they knew that physically they were going to try to be challenged up front. That was a big MO for this offense coming into it. But the defense, they've risen to the occasion. Their front seven has dominated this entire game.
And this one will be stopped for no gain.
And listen, if I'm the quarterback, I'm trying to dump the ball off to my playmaker and make this a manageable third down. Get something positive. But how about the defense? Just reacting so fast, getting to the running back, and getting that sucker on the ground in the open field.
Certain moments in the game you know are just a little bit bigger. Here's one of them. Big play coming on 3rd and long. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first.
Tackles made at the 42. Coming up, 4th down.
And here comes the punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. Now the offense will try to run out the clock with the lead. Looking for a man. It's Graham. Got his man down the middle. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible.
I love an offense that wants to stay aggressive. Even when you've got the lead late in the game like this, right, you still try to find your playmakers and get them the ball in space, and that is exactly what this offense is doing.
He'll toss it. And they'll ride him down, but not before he picks up the first down. And how about the timing on that pitch? Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. They'll snap it from the 36. They've got a first down. They'll run it to keep the clock moving. Stopped at the 47 after a 10-yard gain. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. Line gets set, first down. Wants to throw on first down. Caught over the middle. It's Peoples. Nice gain on that play, but a little bit short of the first down.
You see a lot of offenses late in the football game with a lead get conservative. I like they didn't. Like, they trusted the passing game. You're going to get looks that you know what they are. Defense has to be aggressive. You know, they have to be aggressive because they're down. They've got to get to the quarterback. They've got to get stops. Nice job throwing the football.
They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. They'll make the stop, but that first down ought to ice it, and they should be able to kneel this one out. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Happy with the situation, the quarterback will take a knee. Oh, that was a pretty rough showing there by this team. Just couldn't find a way to get things going and come up with the win.
Just got outplayed, Reese. There were moments in this game. There were plays to be had and plays to be made. At the end of the day, they just did not execute well enough in any of the three phases on any side of the football. So, David, moving forward, a lot to take away from this game as they try to improve.
A lot to take away and a lot to learn from. I mean, losses definitely hurt. They sting, but a lot of times most teams refocus and they get a sense of urgency now that they got a loss in that column. So watch the tape, watch what you need to improve on, and go attack it in practice.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.